Well, hey sweet people, and welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome especially. I'm Sally and I'm so glad you stopped by. I am cozied up today with a cup of tea in a festive Christmas mug. Last year I recorded a video called my Wholesome Holiday Gift Guide, and I just thought that was a lot of fun, and it would be a cozy tradition to do the same thing each year, have a fun little Christmas mug with a cozy drink in it, and just share some of my favorite things that I've been loving that I personally would love to receive as a gift or will be giving to loved ones as gifts. I am admittedly a huge overthinker when it comes to gifts because I just want it to be something that is really meaningful to the person or that they are going to use and truly love. So I can assure you that I have thought about this list a lot, and like I said a minute ago, these are all things that I know personally I would love to receive or that I have previously given or maybe giving in the future to friends and loved ones. So without further ado, let's dive into it. The first thing on my list, if I can talk, is Tallow Bomb. So I actually did share this in last year's gift guide as well, and if you've been following me for a while, you know that recently all I have been using for skincare is Tallow Bomb. I started out just using it on my face, but now it is the moisturizer I use for my entire body, and my skin has never been happier. Now, absolutely what I am putting in my body has a huge effect on that. What you eat really impacts your skin health, but one area where I have noticed a massive difference with the Tallow Bomb is on my arms. I've always had chicken scratch or like keratosis pilaris on my arms, and nothing has helped. Growing up, I was told to use like a salicylic acid moisturizer, which also isn't great because it makes you more likely to burn in the sun. I would do all kinds of crazy exfoliation and nothing worked. But when I started using Tallow Bomb on my arms, I noticed a massive difference very quickly. Within a week, it started to improve. And again, I want to say my diet has a big role in that as well. When I really saw myself kind of turn the corner in that direction is when I got super diligent about avoiding polyunsaturated fats or processed polyunsaturated fats in my diet. But the Tallow Bomb has absolutely had a role, and it's also really good when it comes to, sun exposure. It has a natural, gentle, very subtle kind of protective effect when it comes to preventing sunburn. And of course, anything that we're putting on our skin that has those PUFAs in it, which unfortunately most skincare does increase our likelihood to burn. That is really the interaction between those polyunsaturated fats and the sun that causes that sunburn. So this is completely PUFA free and just absolutely nourishing for your skin. So I have a few brands that I want to mention. The first is Tubes & Co. Now I do have an affiliate relationship with this brand, I should say, for a few different items on the list. I have affiliate relationships. You guys can get a discount if you purchase with my code or through my link, but full disclosure, should you do so, I do get a small commission as well. And I have worked with these brands because I really cherish their products, and I reached out to them personally to see about setting up this sort of relationship so that it could be, mutually beneficial for all of us. But Tubes & Co. was the OG Tallow Bomb that I used. It's what I use most of the time. I love their Sweet Girl scent. It's a light floral scent. It has frankincense in it. I can't exactly remember what else, but it's not overpowering by any means. All of their scents come from high quality essential oils, and so there's no fragrance in it of any kind. You don't need to worry about it messing with your hormones or anything like that. So if you want to check out Tubes & Co., you can use code SALLY10 or just use the link below to get 10% off your purchase. And they have a lot of other wonderful products as well, including a foundation, which is the only foundation I use these days. I won't be purchasing anything else certainly anytime soon. I use the color beige. It's just a powder foundation. It is super blendable. You don't notice it kicking up your skin or anything like that, and you barely feel it on as well. But they also make a lot of lip products, eye products, all of that kind of thing. And I think this would be a wonderful gift, obviously, for any adult woman who is into clean skincare. But if you have a daughter, or if you have a young woman in your life who is just kind of starting to do skincare or use makeup, these are really high quality products, but that are not going to expose them to toxins. And so I think this would be a great brand to share. But other brands for Tallow Bomb are going to be Sunbird Collective. I have not actually used this, but this is a brand that my friend Juliana introduced me to. And the woman, I cannot remember her name, who owns this company, she makes the most phenomenal scents in the whole wide world. I smelled the, it was like orange creamsicle, and it was, I mean, truly, it smelled like an orange creamsicle. It was so good. And they make a chai that's also really, really lovely. So you can go check her out. She's a pretty small business. Tubes and Co is as well. So really nice to support both of them. And you can also make Tallow Bomb yourself. I tried doing this recently and it was surprisingly easy. All you need is the beef tallow and then some high quality olive oil, and then you also can use some essential oils to scent it if you want. But I will link a recipe for homemade Tallow Bomb that I've tried and really liked down below. Okay, next gift idea is to do a toxin-free tea or coffee set. So one thing that's really fun if you have friends that are into tea is you can find silver teapots, oftentimes at thrift stores, for not a lot of money, that are maybe very tarnished, not at first glance in the best shape, but with a simple polish, they look good as new. And I think it would be really sweet to give someone, you know, a silver teapot, or maybe not silver, just some other type of teapot, alongside some artisan tea from a brand you really like, really high quality. I can definitely link some high quality tea brands down below, not affiliated with any of them, but if you want to check them out. And then the tea that I made today and that I'm using is one that I picked up while I was in Italy. It is from Siena, actually. I'm not saying you should get this tea, but it's a fun idea to maybe pick something up while you're traveling if you like it, and then you can give a meaningful travel gift to someone. But it's from Siena, Italy, and it's an Earl Grey and just has like an absolutely beautiful fragrance. You know, all natural, truly natural, not natural flavors, but the smell, the aroma, there we go, is absolutely beautiful. So in terms of coffee, some toxin-free ways to prepare coffee, or with a Chemex or any other sort of pour over setup, you can get some really cute pottery pour over contraptions, which you can support a local potter in doing that. And you can also, you know, give that really beautiful gift to a friend or family member. Or Chemex is great. I have one and I love it. You can also do French press. You can do one that's completely glass or metal, and obviously that's going to help you avoid the plastic that is in a lot of coffee makers. And I'm not perfect. I definitely use coffee makers with plastic parts sometimes, especially now as we're like traveling all over the place. But when you heat up water really hot in that plastic, it does get some toxins into your coffee. So if you want an awesome toxin-free coffee brand, you can always check out Purity Coffee as well. They gave me a discount code as well. You can use Sally20 for 20% off. They test really stringently for mold, and their coffee is super high in antioxidants, and they have a really high quality decaf as well, alongside blends that are formulated for gut support and stress support and that kind of thing. I love their coffee. I don't have any right now, but you can definitely go check them out, especially if you're someone who doesn't maybe tolerate conventional coffee super well. Theirs tends to be a little bit more tolerable and gentle. So next gift, and this is a big one, is going to be a Temp Drop. You've heard me talk about this a lot, but I think it'd be a perfect gift, especially if you have a girl who is maybe in her early adolescent years. Temp Drop is a wearable basal body thermometer, and I use it for hormone-free birth control so that I can practice fertility awareness method. Obviously not suggesting a younger girl would be using it, but I just think, I know if I have daughters, I want them at a really young age to learn how to track their cycle so that it's not something they have to think really hard about, but they can just be familiar with the process from the get-go. So you just put it on before bed and you sleep in it, and then you can sync it up to your phone in the morning, and it allows you to determine where you are in your cycle. And of course, there's the book Taking Charge of Your Fertility, which I've recommended many times, but that would also be great to kind of pair with a Temp Drop, depending on who you're giving it to. But you can get about, I think it's actually 11% off with the code AF Sally Hand, I think. Anyways, go check that out. I promise these aren't all like affiliates. I'm not trying to just push that at you, but they are genuinely like my favorite products. So I just, yeah, I'm sharing them. But okay, next gift idea is going to be some taper candles with some fun taper candle holders. You can get completely unscented taper candles, even Trader Joe's right now. You can get a box of, I think it's 8 taper candles for like $5. And then you can get some beautiful taper candle holders. These ones I'm showing you here were actually gifted to me by my sweet friend Elisha. She got them from a shop called Dwell that she works at. And Dwell is just this beautiful, carefully curated home store in downtown Hillsborough, North Carolina. If you guys are ever in the area, I highly recommend you go check it out. Locally owned, small family business with really beautiful things and a really beautiful mission. So anyways, go check out Dwell. I'll link them below, but I just love these brass candle holders. I think they will bring such warmth to, you know, my home once we finally are kind of in one place for a little bit. But you can find all sorts of different kinds all over the place, and I just know that would be a really meaningful gift to receive, are those candle holders paired with some non-toxic taper candles. So on the note of candles, this is another thing that you can DIY. Again, I haven't done this completely by myself, but I've seen a lot of people this year making their own homemade beeswax candles. You just order some beeswax, you can use essential oils, you order candle wicks. I can again include a recipe or a tutorial down below so you guys can check it out, but you could even come up with your own signature scent by combining some essential oils, and you can give that to friends and family members, or of course just light your own home with it. But I am a sucker for candles. Obviously don't want the nasty toxins to be released into my home, but anything that can, you know, avoid that and still provide the nice warm ambient light is really, really nice. Okay, my next idea is a little bit more expensive, and this is a Kindle, specifically a Kindle Paperwhite. Now, I got my Kindle last year for Christmas. My husband very sweetly gave it to me. For the longest time I was like, no, I just want to read good old-fashioned real books, and I still love reading a real, like, physical book. However, we travel a ton, and with that being the case, it's really difficult to like lug a bunch of books around with me, and it's so convenient to have them on my Kindle. I can purchase books for a lot cheaper oftentimes on my Kindle, and just read them on an airplane, read them before bed, like anywhere I'm going, I don't have to worry about it. So I love my Kindle Paperwhite. It doesn't, you know, put off blue light in the same way as like conventional screens are going to do. You can really even turn the backlight all the way off if you want, if you're reading in bright light, or, you know, adjust it just according to the light around you. And I keep mine on airplane mode most of the time, so EMFs aren't a concern there if that's something you are worried about, and its battery life lasts a super long time. But this is the ultimate cozy Christmas gift in my opinion. So now what I want to do is talk about some of my favorite books this year. I think books are always a phenomenal gift to give to people. So I have 4 different books or series that I want to highlight. The first is A Praying Life by Paul E. Miller. This is a book that my husband actually read in one of his small groups this year, and then he shared it with me, and it is really truly transformative when it comes to your prayer life. And for me, it just sparked a lot of conviction and motivation to change how I pray and how I approach that as a whole, and just to be more earnest in it. Definitely an area where I'm still growing, somewhere where honestly I feel right now I'm struggling. I'll like be doing really good in that department, and then it's like, okay, take a few steps back, and it's difficult for me to like get in the right headspace. But that book is just really, really, really helpful, and highly recommend it. Okay, next series is fiction. It is Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, I think. My friend Liz shared this series with me early this year, and we actually like read through the books together, and it was just one of the sweetest and also most mind-blowing fantasy series that I have ever read. The first 2 books, Liz told me that the author wrote them when she was quite young. I believe she was actually a teenager when she wrote the first 2 books, and they are very good. But then you get to the 3rd book, and as Liz said, it's like the whole world opens up. It just gets absolutely insane, and I'm amazed by how she keeps track of all the characters, and you feel throughout the series like you truly know each character, you can truly relate to them, and they're a lot. And they're like no loose ends when you get to the end of the series. It's just mind-blowing. So I really, really recommend you check that out. There's just a little bit of spice as you get to some of the later books, but it's not like super spicy. I felt comfortable with it, so I probably wouldn't give it to like a young teenage girl though, even though it is a young adult book technically. Okay, or a young adult series, but a full box set of that would be a really nice gift for a book lover in your life, or even just the first few books. Okay, next book, I just have to plug my friend Logan here. Under Cold Moons by L.E. Van V. This is actually an author who I coached when I was working at Orange Theory, and she just released her first book. It's on my Kindle right now. I need to start reading it. I haven't read it yet, so I can't specifically speak to it, but I know that it is based largely on Norse mythology. It is very appropriate from what I've read in terms of like reviews and everything. There's not a ton of spice in it, so not something to worry about, but I just know that it's going to be fantastic, and if anyone wants to support a debut author in her first book, go check out Under Cold Moons. Of course, it'll be linked below with everything else, but Logan, I think you're awesome, and I'm so excited. It literally released today as I'm filming this video, so I'm so excited to read it, and I just want everyone to support you. Not that you're going to see this video, but everyone go support my friend. Okay, so last book on the list is An Everlasting Meal by Tamar Adler. This is again nonfiction, and this is both a, what's the word I'm looking for? No. Okay, I'm not gonna try to use fancy literary terms right now because they're not coming to me, but it's both, it reads like a story, like a novel, but it is nonfiction. But it is also a cookbook at the same time. But similar to Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, which I shared last year, it really takes you through this beautiful narrative of how to cook, how to approach food. It's like almost a philosophy on food. It keeps it really simple, keeps it really sustainable, and it's just a beautiful book to read that will change your perspective and your paradigm in such a positive sense. So again, that's An Everlasting Meal by Tamar Adler. Okay, last thing I have to mention, admittedly, I have to plug myself a little bit here, but if you want to give someone the ultimate gift of health this year, if you have a friend or a family member who has been wanting to prioritize their health, maybe doesn't know where to start, wanting a little bit of guidance throughout the process, I do have a few slots still left open for nutritional therapy beginning in the new year. So if you know someone who would benefit from this, still running $300 off my larger packages through the end of the year. And of course, we have the more classic nutritional therapy that has the assessment and a full protocol, which is at a much more affordable price point. So if you know anyone who would benefit from this and you want to consider giving it to them as a gift, you can shoot me an email down below. My email address is always there, and you can also of course apply for them or for yourself through the link in my website or through the form in my website. Okay, this video is getting long and I am getting bad at talking, but that is it for today. Thank you so much for sticking around for the video. I would love to hear any of your favorite Christmas gift ideas, anything that you've seen that you just really love. Always looking for a little bit of inspiration in that department, so please comment those down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for being here. Bye, y'all.